The evening light slipped through the curtains like a quiet ghost, golden and fading, spilling across the messy bed. Taehyung hadn't made that morning. His room still smelled faintly of his cologne, musky, warm, and sharp, the kind that lingered even after he was gone. YN had only come to drop off his sketchbook. That's what she told herself. Just the sketchbook. Nothing else. He had left it in her apartment last night after they'd fought. Or at least what she thought was a fight. To him, it probably wasn't even worth that word. He hadn't raised his voice or argued back. He had just gone silent. That silence that always cut deeper than anger ever could. So now, standing in his apartment, YN's heart thudded uneasily. His place was quiet, like it always was. Neat but not warm. The curtains barely opened, the bed rumpled on one side, the faint hum of a ticking clock the only sound. It felt like he lived here, but didn't belong here. Just like she felt sometimes when she was with him. She sighed and placed the sketchbook on his desk. Her eyes drifted across the surface. The scattered pens, a cup with cold coffee, a half-burned candle. And then, something caught her attention. A small wooden box sat near the edge of his desk. She had never seen it before. It wasn't like Taehyung to keep sentimental things. He wasn't that kind of person, at least not with her. But there it was. Plain, unmarked, almost ordinary, except for the initials carved faintly on the corner. TKYN hesitated. She shouldn't open it. She knew she shouldn't. Her fingers hovered above it, trembling slightly as if her conscience were whispering, "Leave it. Leave it, YN." But curiosity was a cruel thing, especially when you loved someone who rarely let you in. She told herself she would just look, just peek. The lid creaked open. Inside lay a stack of letters, worn, folded, tied together with a black ribbon. The edges of the papers had yellowed slightly, the ink faded in places. She could tell by the handwriting. It was his. Taehyung's. Her breath hitched. He wrote letters? To whom? She picked one up. Her thumb brushed over the date written in the corner, March 3rd. That was months ago, before they had even started dating. Her heart stuttered. She didn't want to read. She really didn't. But her mind wouldn't stop whispering questions. Who are they for? Why did he keep them? Why didn't he tell me? She swallowed hard and unfolded the first one. March 3rd, I saw her again today. It's been a year, but it still feels like yesterday. Her laugh is the same, her hair shorter. I thought I wouldn't feel anything, but it hit me like a damn storm. I thought I was over her. I thought time had erased the feeling. But it hasn't. It's still her. It's always her. I'm tired of feeling like this, tired of being haunted. I need something, someone, to distract me. Maybe if I hold someone else, maybe if I look into someone else's eyes, I'll forget her. Maybe that's the only way I can breathe again. The paper trembled in YN's hands. She blinked, trying to steady her vision as tears welled in her eyes. Someone else. He wanted someone else to forget her. Her throat tightened painfully. She told herself it was before her. Before them. Maybe it didn't matter, but deep down, something cracked because she could feel what kind of pain these letters were written from. They weren't ordinary words. They were confessions. Taehyung never spoke like this to her. He never wrote like this to her. And yet, here he was, pouring his soul into paper. Not for her, but for someone he couldn't forget. Her fingers shook as she reached for another letter. April 17th. She doesn't leave my mind, no matter how much I try. I told myself I'd start over, that I'd stop waiting for her, that maybe the universe would throw someone else in my path. And it did. Her name is YN. She smiles like the world hasn't broken her yet. She's gentle, stubborn, and kind in ways I've forgotten people could be. I should be happy, right? But the truth is cruel. I'm not in love with her. I'm just hoping one day I will be. Her heart stopped. That line, those words, they carved into her like a knife. I'm not in love with her. I'm just hoping one day I will be. Her eyes blurred completely now. The paper grew damp where her tears hit it. She wanted to stop. She wanted to close the box and walk away. Pretend she never saw it. But her trembling hands betrayed her. They reached for another letter. May 9th, I kissed her today. YN. She smiled afterward. She looked so happy. And I felt nothing. What kind of person does that make me? I want to love her. I want to mean it when I say I miss you. But every time I close my eyes, it's still the other face I see. Still the same damn ghost I can't let go of. The room spun. Her knees felt weak as she sat down on the edge of his bed, clutching the papers to her chest. She wanted to scream, to tear the letters apart, to demand why. But there was no one to answer. The silence of his room mocked her, cold, heavy, unforgiving. How many times had he looked her in the eye and said, I love you? How many times had she stayed up waiting for a text, thinking maybe he was just tired, maybe he just wasn't good at showing love? But now she knew. He wasn't in love at all. She was just his escape. His way to forget another woman. A rebound. That word echoed in her mind until it made her sick. She wiped her eyes, her chest heaving, but curiosity, that cruel, burning need for truth, made her open one more letter. June 28th. She's good to me. YN. She listens, she cares, she tries. Sometimes I almost believe I can love her back, but love isn't supposed to feel like this, like pretending. I used her to feel something again, to feel less hollow. But she doesn't deserve that. She deserves someone who looks at her and only sees her. I can't forget the other one, no matter how much I try. The page slipped from her fingers and fluttered to the floor. IN pressed her hands to her mouth, a broken sob escaping before she could stop it. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. All this time, she'd been trying to understand his coldness, his distance, the way he would hold her but never really hold her. Now it all made sense. He wasn't cold because he was shy about love. He was cold because he was never in it. She stared at the box again, those hidden letters, tucked away like secrets never meant to see the light. And yet, here she was, drowning in their truth. Her tears fell soundlessly, soaking into the papers on his floor. A memory flashed before her eyes, his voice last night, low and tired, saying, "Don't overthink, Ian, I love you." Now every "I love you" felt like poison, like a line from a script he never believed in. The front door clicked. Her body stiffened instantly. Taehyung's voice floated through the quiet, low, indifferent as always. "Yen?" Her heart nearly stopped. She wiped her tears quickly, shoved the letters back into the box with shaking hands, and pushed it onto the desk, trying to steady her breath. When he stepped into the room, she turned away, pretending to look at the sketchbook. He looked surprised to see her. "You're here." "I came to return this." She gestured weakly to the sketchbook. Her voice cracked slightly. He nodded, setting his keys down. "You could have just given it tomorrow." "I was free," she said softly. He hummed, that same distant hum that always made her feel small. She watched him as he moved across the room, his face calm, unreadable. The same face she once found beautiful. Now she didn't know if she could even look at it without feeling like she was breaking apart. Taehyung sat on the bed, scrolling through his phone. His tone was casual when he asked, "You okay? You look pale." Yen forced a small smile. "I'm fine." Fine. The word tasted bitter. Because she wasn't fine. Her whole world had shifted in the span of minutes. The man sitting in front of her, the one who had said "I love you 100 times, the one whose hands she had held through bad days, had used her heart as a bandage. And now she didn't know how to breathe around him. Her mind screamed. Ask him. Confront him. But her heart whispered, don't. She couldn't. Not yet. Her eyes flicked toward the desk, the box still sitting there. If he noticed her looking, he didn't say anything. "Did you eat?" he asked absently, scrolling again. "Not yet," she murmured. He looked up briefly. "Then stay. I'll order something." His voice was gentle this time, softer than usual, and for a cruel second, her heart ached because that softness felt real. But now she didn't trust it anymore. Every tender look, every kind word, all of it felt like a lie wrapped in warmth. She wanted to scream, to ask, how could you? But instead, she said nothing. She just sat there, watching him. Watching the boy she loved, the boy who had written letters to another girl while holding her hand, and realizing she didn't know him at all. As the night deepened, silence filled the space between them. He sat on his bed, scrolling through something on his phone, while she sat on the edge of his desk chair, her eyes fixed on the shadows the lamp threw against the wall. Every tick of the clock seemed to echo the same thought. You were never enough for him. When he finally looked at her again, she managed a smile, a weak, hollow one. "You're quiet today," he said, raising a brow. "Just tired," she whispered. He nodded. "You should sleep." She almost laughed. Sleep? How could she sleep knowing she had just read proof that she was nothing but a substitute for someone he couldn't forget? Still, she stood up slowly. "I should go." He frowned slightly. "You sure? It's late." She nodded. "Yeah, I'll be fine." Taehyung walked her to the door. He leaned down, brushing a kiss against her forehead, the same kiss he always gave her before saying goodbye. But tonight, it burned. Because now she knew it wasn't love. It was habit. "Good night," he murmured. Her throat ached as she whispered back, "Good night." Outside, the wind was cold. Too cold. She walked down the empty street, tears spilling freely now. No longer hidden, no longer silent. She clutched her chest, feeling the hollow ache of betrayal settle deep inside. Taehyung's words from the letters kept echoing. "I'm not in love with her. I'm just hoping one day I will be." And now she knew why he was always so distant, so unreadable. He was never hers to begin with. He was a storm that never belonged to her, and she was foolish enough to believe she could calm it. As she reached the corner, she stopped and looked back once at the apartment where the lights still glowed faintly behind the curtains. She wiped her tears roughly, whispering to herself, "Why did I read them?" But deep down, she already knew. Because love, even the kind that hurts, always seeks the truth. And the truth had shattered her tonight. She didn't sleep that night. She lay awake in her room, staring at the ceiling, every memory of Taehyung replaying in her mind. Every soft laugh, every fleeting smile, every word that now felt tainted. She remembered the way he'd look at her sometimes, distant but thoughtful, and she had mistaken that silence for depth. Now she knew it was emptiness. He had built a love out of someone else's ruins and called it hers, and she had loved him enough to believe it. Her chest hurt as she whispered into the darkness, "Was I ever anything more than your distraction, Taehyung?" But the night had no answers, only the faint echo of a love that was never real.